we are with beta maps. Just the other day, someone discovered a whole bunch of them. A cartridge with a whole bunch of data from the beta version of this game.
How many more is there to come?
Yeah, and so there's a ROM now with the maps only. They don't have objects or characters or nothing in there, or like dialogue, but they found a bunch of dialogue and text and weird items that weren't used, and it's really, really cool, but we're only looking at the maps for now because that's all we have. So just plain maps with no...
Will they put more in there later?
I think so. I hope they do.
They could reconstruct it at least.
Yeah.
Get it.
Well, they're obviously going to try.
As close as possible. Doesn't need to be exact at this point.
Yeah.
It's like a glimpse into an alternate universe.
But there's some interesting stuff in here, so we're going to take a look. There are original dungeon designs that got changed a lot. Let's look at the Deku Tree. We've got a beta Deku Tree now. This is what it used to look like. See? Wow. And they don't have beta link, but
well,
it's
it's
just
obviously
the maps.
not finished.
No.
It's just a rough structure.
Yeah, these are not finished. Definitely, you can tell. That not just because they don't have any of the interactable like buttons or chests in them, but because they don't look like competent dungeons, really. This is crazy. I never thought I'd see this.
And it's crazy how it hasn't been discovered earlier.
Yeah. The story goes someone found a cartridge that, like, had another game on it, but it had leftover data from Ocarina of Time hidden in there. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, we've got dungeons to look at now.
Did one of the developers sell it at a yard sale or something?
I don't know. It was a developer cartridge.
And someone overwrote it?
So yeah. Someone essentially, like, you tape over a VCR or a VHS tape, and then you see a bit of the first movie that you taped over. It was like that, so we have fragments of it now.
That used to happen to me a lot by accident.
Uh-huh. Probably supposed to be a puzzle in here, or a fight, maybe. But
or a chest.
We don't have it yet. Or a chest, but it's not there yet. But
the circle shape kind of asks for a chest.
As we speak, people are frantically digging through this stuff. This is just what I have so far.
Because who else would do that?
It was overwritten. It was used as a demo at some kind of event. We just have a bunch of empty rooms. This is gonna look familiar if you know the original trailers for this game had this room in them. Cool, huh? This is the one you see in the trailers.
Those white things look like faces.
Which?
Oh, it's windows.
It's windows, yeah. And obviously...
Did the Deku Tree have holes in it?
It would have.
As windows?
Yeah. It doesn't make much sense. So
is that why they didn't keep it?
I guess. No, this dungeon, it doesn't really have much structure to it. It's just a big tower. This obviously had a puzzle in here. But there's a little tool built into this where you can do this and move him around. So that you can, if you can't get somewhere, you can just lift him up there.
Because they didn't put any ladders.
Yeah.
Anything.
Well, there are ladders in some of these, but...
Well, not everywhere.
Whee. See,
is that a very early stage of the development?
It's probably beta. There's alpha and then there's beta. You can climb up the whole tower. I'm gonna explore anything that anyone tells me to explore. There's not much to it, but you can see the design that they originally had in mind for this. It's just like you climb a big ramp up to the top.
Mm.
It's not as interesting as the final one. I can see why they changed it.
Mm.
In all of these, you can clearly see why they changed
They
it.
made it seem more like the Deku Tree is just eating you. You're going down and down.
Uh-huh. In this one, you're going up and up. There's no basement that I can see.
Mm.
Did we already go in there?
Why would you climb the tree from the inside?
That's a neat little idea. Just empty room.
Mm.
Probably had a puzzle in it or something.
In the final game, the problem was at the root of the tree. Because you
Yeah.
went down.
That makes
I
more
think-
sense,
yeah,
though.
It's more symbolic.
So they found though, what they did find was text implying the beginning of the game was different. Like, you know how in the beginning of this, you can look up this text, someone posted it on Twitter or something, a dump of a bunch of the text, but in the original, the beginning of the game was different. You would, instead of Navi coming up to you and just saying, "Hey, I'm Navi," you had to go into the Deku Tree and rescue a bunch of fairies. And then you'd get Navi.
I heard
And again, that would have been kind of weird because you need her to lock onto things.
Uh-huh.
You kind of need her from the beginning to tell
That's
you how to
probably
do
why
stuff.
they changed it.
Yeah.
I heard that the very first ideas for Zelda were to set it in a castle like Mario. I
Yeah.
guess that was for the very early stage.
Uh-huh.
And then maybe they thought, okay, we have one game that follows that structure. Why would we make another from a different franchise?
I should put a link. I should put a link
An
to the
adult
video
link?
where I found this ROM. This temple is the Deku Tree, the original design for it. Very old. I explained everything, but I'll explain it again. They found, well, you probably know about this. They found a cartridge with a bunch of Ocarina of Time beta stuff on it. And they're piecing it together, and now we have a ROM of some original dungeons and areas. Very weird.
Did they look through the game that was written over the original dungeons?
Oh, they're combing through that ROM. They're not gonna miss anything. People are very, very excited.
It is possible to look behind that final game, right? The game that they wrote over.
I think
reconstruct
it's gone because it's been overwritten, but yeah. I don't know if they'll get actors in here eventually because they're finding items that were unused. I hope someone manages to jam them into the game somehow so I can see what they do. But they found text describing what they do. They had the shadow medallion would make you hide from enemies. They had like a different arrow for every element or every metal. Like they had a shadow arrow. Who knows what that would have done?
Why did they
I
get
don't
rid
know.
of that idea?
Because I think it's just too convoluted. It's too many things to think
then,
about. Like
and
the
the fin-
puzzles would be really confusing with that many options.
You can't equip enough items not to open the menu all the time. Is that why?
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna
Like with the boots.
1 second. I'm gonna post in the description here. I'm gonna update the description so that it shows that thing that I found, the video where you can get this ROM, because yeah, I'm gonna post a link to that.
Is that why in the final Ocarina of Time version, each one of those sages gives you a medallion, but it doesn't do anything? Is that a leftover?
Yeah, I think so.
Because it doesn't make much sense.
It's really funny how it doesn't do anything. It's kind of stupid.
They just thought
Okay.
it was a nice gesture, but the function was scrambled.
The video where I found the ROM, it should be in the description now. I think I... Let me see.
Like they're talking about some superpower that you get with their medallions, but it's just for you to imagine, I guess.
Yeah, that link in the description should
It's
lead
just
to...
symbolic.
Can someone tell me if it works? It should lead to a video showcasing this ROM, where you can find the link to it.
Did they overlook it? That the medallions didn't do anything in the end? Or
I
did
don't
they?
know. They changed a lot. They basically started over with the whole story and everything, so they probably just didn't have time to really complete... I don't know about anyone else, but this game always felt incomplete to me. Like there was stuff missing.
That's why a
Like
lot
they didn't
of
have time.
a lot of the developers wanted to make Majora's Mask.
Oh, Majora's Mask, on the contrary, felt very complete. Like they really finished it. And yet, this one took longer to make. But, of course, they just reused the assets. So it was easier.
Because Ocarina of Time was the
It was
trailblazer.
the first one, yeah. So
And then they
couldn't
used a lot of the mechanics that were already finessed in Ocarina of Time, and they made them even more polished and found ways to use them better.
Yeah, so I would assume this is where the boss would be, because there's a little... The Ring of Light would go there after it's done, I guess. So it's like the Mario 64 one, where you go to the top of the thing. It's a lot like that, and you fight the guy. What's that? Bob on Battlefield? Yeah.
You go up to fight bosses a lot in Mario.
In Zelda, you go down to fight bosses. That's the difference.
Well, the game has a completely different feel to it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for this dungeon.
You can do.
But oh boy, there's a whole bunch more stuff to look at. There's nothing else in here, I don't think. I looked through it.
The feel is completely different. There's no slapstick with Link.
Yeah.
Though I would want to see that.
There is sometimes in Wind Waker where he falls over on the ice.
Well, that is a completely different
Oh
style.
wait, I found another room. So there's nothing in here.
They had to apologize for Majora's Mask and how serious it got.
Best Zelda game? Majora's Mask is the best Zelda game. You can disagree with me if you want. I don't mind. And I'm not saying that's objectively the best one, but it's my favorite one. Anyway,
It's about what the games make you feel.
we've got all of these
It's
maps. Look how many maps there are. 37 of them. Some
Can
of
you
them
see
are
the
test
field?
rooms. Yeah, you can. And that's the interesting... We're going to get to that. That's a really interesting thing. Okay, let's look at Zongo's Cavern.
Can you run from one dungeon to another through the field?
No. No, it's not complete. Who would disagree? Well, a lot of people don't like it. I can sort of see why.
Games aren't a competition.
No, there doesn't have
it's
to
all
be a best one.
subjective.
Hey, look who it is.
As long as you like it, it can be the best game for you.
You can feel free to try to summon T-Dog. I think he would like this. I think he would enjoy this one. Am I gonna die if I go in there? It's not finished, so you can see. So, one thing you're gonna notice...
Will they be updating that ROM?
I hope so. I think they'll find more stuff and ways to patch it in. And then we'll definitely take a look at it when they do. One thing you notice about these is a lot of these maps are a lot bigger than they were in the final version. They wanted to make everything so huge.
They were 20 years too early for that.
Yeah, and it doesn't work because you have to do a lot of running and doing nothing except running forward trying to get to the other side of the room, and it's not that much fun.
Well, maybe
So-
the teleportation system was more advanced too.
Who knows?
But then they would have to put a lot of random objects to make it feel real.
What's behind door number 1? It's a primitive version of that room with the stairs. And some things in this one are smaller than they ended up being in the final version, like this. This was a bigger room. This is unfinished beta rooms that someone found the other day. I talked about them in the Discord.
With the size of the finished version, it still doesn't feel quite believable with so much
Oh.
space with just nothing.
Some of the doors do this. You just have to, because they're not finished. You have to open the door to load the area. So there's not much of. Listen to this. I'm not sure if that was added in by the person who patched this or if it was in the original, that echo. That's a weird echo.
Well, it would have sounded somewhat like that in the beta version.
But like his footsteps are it's kind of distorting because the damping is not enough. It's not fading out quick enough.
Well, it was overwritten.
Wow, it's been a whole year. It's been over a year since we started streaming. That's cool. I'm very excited about this.
The first saved stream was from last Christmas.
I could spend all day on this. I might have to cancel the Silent Hill 2 section of this if it takes too long, but we're probably gonna play it. This is my favorite Ocarina of Time character.
Navi.
Probably the guy who says, "Oh, if I looked as good as you, I could run a different kind of business." The Poe seller.
The shadow guy.
Yeah. I don't know who's my favorite. I wonder if there's anything up here. Nope. Okay, wait. Can I possibly get back to where I was?
Can you lift yourself?
I am lifting myself. I can't really see, though.
Move back. Keep moving up and back.
Try. Oops. Okay, I went too far. Clearly.
Well, can you really die in this one?
Yes. It just respawns you. Yeah, he took the damage. Okay, so...
You can die slow and painful death.
No, I mean, I would... If I canceled Silent Hill 2, it would be to play more of this. Because I want to see as much of it as I can.
Maybe make it into 2 streams? Maybe we could look at more of that later when they do some more work on it.
I'm definitely going to.
Don't need to explore
Okay, so
it
this-
all yet because it's just the first glimpse.
This dungeon had almost the same structure. There's one difference that I'll get to later that I like, that I think they should have kept. Mini boss? Probably. Hi, Scotty. Okay, so... See, that doesn't really... It's too... There's not enough delay on the echo. It sounds like he's in a bathroom or something, not a huge cave.
Well, maybe it's a homemade effect that was laid over it.
23 years later. I like the colors in here. Aw, that's cool. 23 years later, this game is still giving. Still giving us things. You see, that's too long. That was not fun, just to run down that hallway.
Maybe there was supposed to be something on the way.
Maybe.
Enemies? Torches?
That always could be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a mini boss. Or
I'm sure the
some
developers...
kind. It's like that room with the button a bit, except different. Maybe.
I'm sure the developers realized that they needed to put stuff there.
Yeah, but
and they planned for something to be there.
They really wanted to make it huge.
Mm-hmm.
Which didn't really work.
That's probably why they shrunk it.
And is not a good management of resources.
That's why they shrank the final size of the maps and dungeons. Maybe too many enemies with no leveling up system. It's just a lot of running past.
So this room sort of made it into the final. It's that room with the Dodongos, remember? But it looked different.
How's Dad 74 and his guitar? We're fine. The guitar is recovering from its cold.
Uh-oh. I went the wrong way. Okay, so any more rooms? I don't know. I can't see any more.
Where's the huge skeleton? Was it supposed
It's
to be
there.
there?
See? There's the skull.
Oh.
I think the skull is a lot smaller, actually. They
What
made
about
it
the
bigger.
bridge with a hole in the middle? Isn't it supposed to be right above the skull?
Yes, that's a good observation. I didn't even notice that. It is. They moved it.
Why are there two of them?
Okay, let's get into the skull. Because this is something that I liked. One of the only things that I think they should have kept that makes a weird sound when you step on it is, do you remember how you go into the skull and there's just more stupid rooms to do? Well, in this one, it just goes straight to the boss. Which I think is probably better, because it's more climactic. And the boss room is
Looks
smaller.
more epic.
The boss room is a little smaller than... And that's it for this one. So, let's look
The
at...
guitar got sick from not wearing its warm case.
Let's prioritize things that people want to see. What do people want to see? Hyrule Field? Maybe? Was that brick texture used in the game or no? Ah, it might have been. There are textures that they didn't use, obviously. Because they made better ones. Hey, chat, what do you want to see? These are the options. Forest Temple? I hear Forest Temple. Maybe we could do that one.
Forest Temple 1.
It's actually
Forest
interesting.
Temple 2.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Whoops. I got Child Link with
Do they have the
other
vulgar
tunic
fairies in this
somehow.
one?
The vulgar fairies. Oops.
The fairies of seduction.
I made a big mistake. Well, we can look at this, because it went into this area for some
The
reason.
colors are different.
We can look at this for a second. There's almost nothing here, but this is Hyrule Castle. And this is one of those areas. Remember I mentioned, this one's smaller.
Why did you turn into a child?
Because it's just there by default. This area is smaller than it ended up being. And here's the thing going to the fairy fountain.
Did they have a beta version of the
It's a different
corrupted
rock.
world?
And I guess everyone wants to see what's behind that rock. Nothing.
They made the colors look more natural, I think.
Yeah. This looks a little
A little forced,
strange.
a little surreal.
Is there Zora's Domain? There's no Zora's Domain. There's a Zora's River. Which is pretty weird. We'll look at that.
The whole area was different?
Yeah. So, remember this?
Where you wake
It's
up
almost the
guy?
same, yeah. Except there's nothing and it's less polished. So let's try it. You know what time it is. There's nothing in there. That's all for that area. Okay, we'll do Forest Temple now.
What about the Fire Temple? What music did they use there? Did they put any music over that area?
The music is not there because I think all the music was overwritten by the new game that was put on it.
What game was that?
F-Zero. It was an F-Zero demo. So right away, this is the Forest Temple. You can see they made some decisions. The ceiling was open. And
it's a lot brighter.
Yeah. This is pretty strange. Instead of the elevator, they have kind of a placeholder here. That's like, it's just a door with a stairway. What's down there? Let's go see.
Well, we can safely assume they wouldn't have left it like that.
No. It's just like a... Uh-oh.
Just a note to self to put something in there. What does the text say?
I have no idea. I can't read Japanese.
We can try the translator.
You could, but it... we could try. I think it's just the name of the area. Can you not open doors? Oh, I wonder if I could open that door and load the area. Yeah, loaded. Okay. Whee! So this is the area at the bottom, remember? Where the boss was. But we'll go see that after, because there's more stuff up there.
Is it the area with the spinning thing?
Yeah, but they didn't have the spinning thing there yet. Come on, open the door.
Was that for a conference or what?
This was just like development stuff. They were working on it using these cartridges, I think. And look! This area looked a little nicer. Actually. It had a little, you know.
The whole temple looked more optimistic.
Yeah. If anyone wants to, you can play my Forest Temple video in the background if you feel a little lonely. I don't know. They had 3D ladders. For some reason. And they decided to get rid of those to save on resources, I guess. Nicer in what way? It has a little,
the grass. The
grass
reeds.
in the water. That's pretty neat. I like the dark, gloomy version of the temple, actually.
It's more gothic.
Yeah.
And the music, the soundtrack for the temple wouldn't have worked with this visual.
No.
Would have been a little jarring.
So there's windows. It's pretty weird. But the sky is all dark. But in the final one, the sky was very bright, I remember.
Where's the light coming from if the sky is dark?
These 3D ladders don't work. But that's fine. I have my powers. This is inspiring you. Well, go do whatever it's inspiring you to do.
As long as it's legal.
Yeah.
Or at least doesn't hurt anyone who doesn't want to be hurt.
You always say who doesn't want to be hurt.
Well, yeah, because it's not up to me to decide whether a person who genuinely wants to be hurt should be hurt or not.
Oh boy.
Because some people enjoy getting hurt.
I should probably just kill him to get rid of that noise, huh? Come on. Can you not take fall damage in here? That's weird. The water isn't finished, so I guess it doesn't work like that. The beeping noise. This is not finished. Let's run out here. Can't hear anything? You can't hear anything. Wait, is there any sound? Game is silent?
How come?
Oh, I had the desktop audio off.
Oh.
Whoops. Anyway, there wasn't any crazy sounds happening.
No.
Anyway, here's the horrible noise.
My noodling didn't make sense.
Why won't he die? Oh my god. Okay, well, we're just gonna have to... I don't know. Do I have any, like... I have blue fire. Well, I have bombs. Alright, I'll do that. Slowly kill myself. Because I don't want that beeping to be happening.
I can play over it.
Okay. Beta version of the Forest Temple is closer to the original than some of the others were. Okay. The soundtrack is killer. There's no music. Unless you mean what he's playing. Yeah, you can give us a soundtrack for...
Okay.
This room was almost the same. Remember that? It was the mini boss. So let's go down. So just empty rooms. Don't even have to go through the door. It doesn't
I like
load
to
anything.
improvise over the beeping though. It had a steady drone beat.
I don't think any of these load anything in. Nope. There's one. This is going to be interesting because I remember seeing a video of this.
That room?
The boss room is pretty cool. Oh, look at that.
What about the twisted corridors?
They weren't here, I guess. And the boss room looked a little different. Look at this. Whee! Had light coming in. And
Let's appreciate the art on the walls.
there's a weird yellow thing in the paintings that they took out. I don't know what that is. Is it a leaf? It looks very out of place.
Maybe it's the moon?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay, it's just a little weird, like it's a weird shape. Does Majora's Mask have... Majora's Mask doesn't have that much, like, content like this because it wasn't developed for very long. Anyway, that's... They took the moon out of the painting, I guess.
Not to confuse people?
Even to make it even gloomier. Maybe that was why. Okay, so what do you want to see next? We have all these options.
I think the majority of Majora's Mask was developed in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
So they didn't need a lot of beta cartridges and demos.
What does everyone want to see?
Zora's River?
Zora's River. There was a newer Hyrule field that was actually shown at a demo or something. Fire Temple.
And that was all on the same cartridge?
Yeah. This was
Two different versions of the same area?
Yeah. But here's the Fire Temple. This almost is exactly like what made it into the... I think this exact room was in the final one. What's in that pit? Yeah, it has the pit. And it has the... Well, this didn't change very much, did it? I haven't actually looked through this one yet.
Where are the Goron cells?
It has that. This looks more finished than the other ones. So far.
Do they plan to imprison the Gorons there?
I don't know. I'm gonna safely lower myself down instead of jumping. So that I don't lose health. And annoy everyone. Oh, come on. Oh, they had the whole entire boulder room. Look. Wow.
Someone was passionate about it.
They really liked the Fire Temple.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what's down here.
I guess they liked the original music too. Because it was a cool mashup.
Oh, look. It's exactly the same. Wow. Interesting.
Interesting, but at the same time not as exciting?
I don't know.
Because we've seen that most of it
is like...
in the final game.
But that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. And there is nothing surprising here, really. This doesn't offer us a lot of insight, though.
No.
Because it's pretty much the same.
They added some, like, torches and things that they took out of the final one.
I still like that area. I might sound like I'm just complaining. I'm not. I'm just assessing the opposite opinion.
This is an amazing thing to see. I'm very happy. Yeah, it's just like the final one, except longer. Oh, wow. Oh my god. This is the pillar room, except it doesn't have anything in it. Navi is the same as she is in the original game because, you know, it's not the original Navi and
that's why it's
Link.
so quiet. There's no Navi going, hey, listen.
There's a lot of rooms in here. Oh my god.
They wanted it to be massive.
Oh, well, that just leads out to the same room. Huh?
Is that room any bigger?
This room... I don't know. It looks like the same shell of the room, except they added a lot of stuff.
Yeah, without all this stuff, it's hard to judge the size of it.
Yeah. Hey. I do want to see what's down there.
Junior is almost done. Don't remind me. Oh.
Boss room. Wait, I went in the wrong one. Hang on.
My phone dropped its time settings to the default ones the other day, and I set it to the wrong year by accident.
Whoops. Here's the boss room, beta version. Wow. Looks almost the same. Huh? Oh. I thought I soft locked it.
I set it to 2020 because it feels like that year didn't exist.
Sorry about the beeping. I'll kill him soon so it stops.
Oh,
hey,
the beeping, right.
They didn't have the weird statues here. They had some writing on the wall instead, which doesn't look as interesting. Yeah, I keep forgetting it's not 2020. That always happens, though. So let's see this. Oh. This is just straight up not finished. Interesting. Play Mikau's song. Uh-oh.
And the key of the beeping.
Mm-hmm. And if we go up here, we can come back to the original room where I started. And go past that room. Uh-oh. Okay, I think I'll kill him so that we can go to the next area. Beta Water Temple. The game, I looked into it. The game does not handle the water. It doesn't work. They hadn't put it in yet, or it's just not, you know. Let's look at Water Temple. So this is Water Temple. We start in the boss room for some reason. And if you fall down there, it's just a huge, giant pit. But it's like, there's a bottom. And the boss room was originally much bigger, just like everything else. Look at this.
Mm-hmm. Just like the developers' expectations.
The same concept, but that water goes down a long way, look. You can see. And there's nothing down there. I feel like they just shrunk Link. I feel like he's just tiny. Because these areas are so big.
The bricks look the same.
Yeah.
Compared to the size of Link.
And this room is the same. Almost. They made things smaller to help with resources, but also because giant open levels are not fun.
Mm. And a lot of random...
Just having a lot of space doesn't make it an interesting game.
A lot of random objects in the vast spaces that they left wouldn't contribute to anything.
So look, this is a lot huger. Look at how big the water temple used to be. Are you glad? Are you finally grateful now for the one we did get?
We were supposed to swim through all of that?
Yeah, you were supposed to 4 floors instead of 3.
Maybe he'd have a boat.
And you were supposed to swim and change the water level to 4 different levels.
Maybe the Goron medallion would have made him bigger, and he would have used that.
Who knows? So originally the medallions were used to cast spells and not like the spells that you get. So
yes, those mechanics would have been too complicated for the the gear, the system that
anyone,
they had.
anyone who complained about the original water temple, look at this thing. This would have been a nightmare.
Someone has to...
It's huge. It's complicated. It's got a whole bunch of floors.
Someone has to make it playable.
They will do it. They will find a way.
Even if it's not really close to the authentic version. Doesn't matter.
Oh, come on. I didn't deserve that damage.
Try falling down there and rolling.
No, I don't think it would work.
Bet you won't take any damage.
Look at this. This is the big tower. You remember there's a big tower in the final version.
The game is punishing you for not taking fall damage risks. If you fall down by yourself all the way, you won't take damage.
There was all this. More rooms.
I just didn't like the boots. I like the design of the water temple.
An absolute nightmare. This. Look how
It's
far
almost
everything
time.
is. Look how... It's too big. It's too big.
And with all that space empty, it's very surreal.
You have to swim through it. Yeah. These ladders work. No, they don't. Okay. I'll shut up.
The game is just moving in.
Yeah.
They haven't brought their stuff yet.
Yeah. It feels like that. Well, that's interesting. That was not in the final game. They have, like... On the wall, is it like a readout of a heart monitor or something? What is that? Anyway. Look at this. Did they plan to put spikes there? I don't know.
Maybe you were supposed to swim over it?
Yeah. So here we are at the bottom. Look at this. It's just the one that the final one, but with an extra level. And more huge. And more annoying.
What year was that?
I got him. This was 97? 96? 97? I don't know. And it's playing the Deku Tree music for no reason. I think they just put random music in. It's like a dream. It's like a dream you would have about Zelda.
Not a downer.
No.
No dream stealing guy either.
Huh. So my brain goes, what's underneath? I can look. There's nothing underneath.
Maybe it's just deeper.
Maybe it has to load in by some trigger, who knows? It's just empty. It's so unsettling that way. So
it's feeling more surreal with all those vast spaces.
How big, yeah. These rooms don't need to be so
with
big.
All the enemies and all the extra decorations and stuff.
It would still be too big.
Yeah, it wouldn't look quite as big. But it would still be a little too much.
Look at that. You would have to swim up there. That's
It'd just
not
take
fun.
too much time.
Yeah.
Unless there would have been a spell to take you up there. Or anywhere faster. call an Epona.
It's just everything is scaled up. Nothing.
It's like a skyscraper.
Yeah.
The design is similar too.
I think that's about it for the water temple. I don't know if there's anything else, but let's look at something else. What does everyone want to see? I think we should definitely look at
what about
the field.
The river?
The river? You want to see the river?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's not much to it, I don't think. Look at this. Oh my god.
The water hasn't moved in yet.
They haven't done the water, so you can just walk on it. It makes a grass noise for some reason. Wow, this is a good river you guys designed. Wow.
They put it in by default. Is the time gonna change? The time of day?
No, it's not changing.
So it's like Dark Souls.
Wow, great level. No, they weren't finished it. We gotta be fair.
Mm-hmm.
This was not finished. Oh, well here's some stuff.
And then what would they put in that river to justify all the space?
I think they were just planning on designing it more later. They just wanted to get something in there, probably.
Overestimated
where
their
will this put me?
abilities at the time.
Shadow Temple. Well, that was the river.
What's the Shadow
Because
Temple there?
It just picks a place to put you, I think, after you leave the area. Because it doesn't have an area to load. So, what else? What else? Fish Pond is going to be quick because there's not much. It's just... There's no fish here yet. There's no anything. There's no guy. It's just a pond. Temple of Time. That one's interesting. Let's go do that one. I'll show the fountain too. That's cool. Here's the Temple of Time. Now you'll notice. What? It's upside down. Isn't that strange? There was a big thing here. This part was different. There was an echo.
Daily advice. Save beta data of your life to reflect on it later.
Can we go through the door of time and see what's inside? There's nothing. Either it has to be loaded or they just didn't finish it. I would guess that it has to be loaded by opening the door. I don't know.
And it would open into a giant hall.
Yeah.
To match the scale of everything else.
Mm-hmm. You get the upside down Triforce that was in the trailers. There are cutscenes that you can load here that are different. I can't do that, but we're here for some reason. So let's show the fountain, because that's just one
the
room.
Upside down Triforce's Fry Torse.
This is cool. Look at this. There's a fairy fountain.
I want the fairies.
They don't have any left.
They're all stolen.
Unfinished.
But we know for sure that Ganon didn't take the fairies because he's not into that stuff.
We'll get to that later.
He had a whole tribe of women. He wanted more.
Yeah.
He was the king of a whole tribe of women.
All gorgeous too.
Mm-hmm.
They ran out of fairies, yeah. Let's go to the Chamber of Sages. Let's do a few quick ones. This is not finished. Look at that. Yeah, and these were just flat pictures instead of... That one's silver instead of yellow. Or wait, no, that was blue. That was the blue one. No! No, yeah. No. That was the yellow one. I'm getting confused now. So...
And it's potentially more useful.
I tried, and no, you can't stand on those things. I always wanted to do that as a kid for some reason. I wanted to run around the Chamber of Sages. Even though there's nothing to do. I just wanted to do it. So there's that.
Your exploration instincts.
Let's look at the field. How long have we been streaming, by the way? Oh my god. I can check quickly.
It's been an hour.
It's been just over an hour. We will keep going. I want to look at older Hyrule Field. Because this is really interesting. Playing the Spirit Temple music, ignore that. So look at the... This is the entrance to Castle Town. Weird, huh?
Maybe we shouldn't rush through all of the areas in one stream. Let it sink in.
There's going to be more updates to this, I'm sure, and I'm going to show them. And we can explore them further when they have stuff in them.
I was getting excited for Silent Hill.
What is textureless scene? I think we will do Silent Hill, because there's not that much else to see in this one yet.
We'll wait for it to be finished.
Yeah.
Or at least completed a little more.
Textureless scene is just a textureless room. It doesn't have anything in it.
Room.
It's just no textures, no nothing. It's not very interesting. So there's something that I found.
Space that's supposed to be a room.
Look, there's the castle. Something that I found over here.
Where's the volcano?
It's there somewhere, I think. I'll look around. Something that I found over here that I thought was interesting. It reminded me of older Zelda games where you'd find...
The colors and the design of the field the way it is now in this beta version is kind of charming.
Yeah, it looks like Mario 64. If you go around, there's this.
Dark in Mario 64.
Yeah.
There's something ominous in the colors.
It reminded me of like Link to the Past or something where you'd go around an area and you'd find a little door and say, oh, I guess I can open that later. There's a weird door here. I guess they were planning something? And no, there's nothing inside it.
You gotta be loaded by something. Triggered.
They didn't finish this. Let's do some back walking. This is the thing about this. It's too big. It's too big in the final game, and they wanted it to be even bigger.
Maybe Epona ran faster?
I don't know. This is probably the reason why they included her. Stuff like this, because it would have been unbearable to walk across.
Maybe you could teleport somewhere more efficiently.
Is there really nothing, or was it not loaded in? There was probably something.
Oh, there would have been trees?
Maybe someday we can see.
Why couldn't they interview...
This leads to nowhere.
Why couldn't they interview the developers and find out what it was supposed to be like?
Because they're very tight-lipped about that. They don't want people to know that their games are ever in an unfinished state. They want people to think that they just start out perfect. They don't like it when stuff like this gets released, I don't think. But they can't do anything about it because it's not...
It's not sold.
It's not like data that was stolen from them, it's just someone found a cartridge. It's free real estate. I wonder if he moves faster if I do this. Maybe he does. There's a house over here. That's another thing that I wanted to see.
Who was it for?
I don't know.
Is that the ranch?
Yeah, that might be it. This might have been the ranch. Look how tiny it is. Maybe they just meant to make it bigger. And no, you can't go in. Unfortunately. I've never played Body Harvest. I don't know what that is.
I remember I heard about a game that has Harvest in its title, but I don't think it was Body
Harvester. For the DOS. Just the game that was ultra violent for the sake of it. It's an interesting game, though. It was really, really bad. Not bad, but like explicit and very gory.
Badass.
Like just for the sake of it. That was the 90s.
Who made it?
I don't know. It had real, like, videos of people for the characters. With real actors in it.
Did they get beat up? For real?
Oh, not for real.
Or did they just hire professional wrestlers? Because that's what they do. Don't get hurt for real.
Anyway, let's look over this. It looks more like a real field in real life. But is that a good thing? Probably not. Because it's not fun to play that. When you're walking across a field in real life, you can smell things. And there's things to do. And there's like...
More interactables.
Yeah. But in this, it's just... You hold the control stick forward for 10 minutes.
I see why they wanted to make it bigger like that, because when you're exploring in the real world as a child, it feels like that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of bugs to look at and things.
They can't make it feel real, just look a little real. But the feeling is the crucial part.
This is significantly bigger. I think either they wanted to make it this big, but then they realized they couldn't. Or they wanted to design it for, like, the disk drive or something that could hold more data. And so they thought they could make it this big, but then they realized it's not fun that way. Alright, let's look at...
Talon Hill?
Unfortunately, we don't have beta Castletown. Yeah, Kakariko Village. Let's look at that. I wish we had Castletown, but we don't.
Maybe it'll be found.
So this is one of those things that... This is Kakariko Village. It's kind of pathetic. It's a flat plain with some houses. There's nothing to it.
Maybe they're just placeholders?
There's no, like, platforms to jump off. There's no hills to run up and things to find. The well is not even here. It's just...
Maybe they meant to make the houses different later. They just
mapped out the place. That's probably it. And there's a road leading to the graveyard, probably.
It just looks like a modern village. With typical houses.
And there's one extra house up here that's more important, I guess. And there's stairs that are not a flat image. Which I like. Yeah, it looks like a suburb. Something
built after World War II.
Yeah. There was a video I watched where the guy said exactly that, I think. It looks like a post-World War II.
It makes sense.
It does. Yeah. There's a road over here that leads to Death Mountain. I guess. does lead somewhere. Just Castle Town, though. Not Beta Castle Town. Alright, let's look at the graveyard. Because there's a graveyard. Look at this. You saw this in trailers.
Looks more organized.
Yeah, but it doesn't look as interesting. Again, you know. There's a big grave.
Like a military graveyard.
I guess the one that you open. A military graveyard makes sense because this game, the lore is that it's...
Like war?
No, it's right after a war. Just thought that was neat. Look. That looks pretty good. There's really nothing here. Tell you what, we might look at more of this on Saturday. Because there's a lot more to see. We could look at more of it on Saturday after we play Twilight Princess. I do want to get to Silent Hill because we're very close to the end. We might finish it. We can look at, I'll tell you what, we'll look at one more thing. What does everyone want to see? One more thing today and then we'll do more on Saturday.
Gerudo Valley?
Gerudo Valley. Let's see what the chat wants. Chat, what do you want to see? There's all this stuff.
A test?
There's test rooms, but they're test rooms that were already seen before in previous. Gerudo Valley, okay. Let's look at Gerudo Valley. This is actually pretty cute. It looked a little different. There were tents. And you can wait.
More nomadic.
You can go into them. Isn't that cute? It's got a weird collision though. It's not finished. The bridge is still broken. Not a problem for me. So... Yay.
We're the master of this world that takes fall damage for no reason.
I like this little... They put some green stuff here. I think that's pretty cool. And you can go straight to the desert, which is interesting. If you remember the original Gerudo Valley, there wasn't a way to go to the desert like that. You had to go through the whole fortress.
They kind of mixed up the parts of the world, though.
How far will it let me go? I wonder. I'm going on an adventure. This is cool. We're gonna look at more of this on Saturday. This just came out a couple days ago. All these weird rooms.
Put it on your wish list. Oh, there's a guy.
Hey, I'm back in the familiar old game. Whoops, I played. Well, let's end it with this. Fine. Play the shooting game. Oh no!
Good.
I used to be good at this. No, I didn't mean to. Okay. Anyway, let's let's get to Silent Hill, I guess. That about wraps it up for the beta ROM. There's going to be more.
We'll definitely get back to it, right?
Yeah, if there's anything more by Saturday, I'll get it running and we'll look at it, but I think it'll take a while.